So this is what Deku was cheated on slash died part 2, guys. So you really like this what if? I also got some, pretty much inputs of, well, ships. So I will be putting those in. So let's get started. Now, I last left off, sorry guys. Real quick. Okay, I last left off where Deku went back to UA after the whole entire sports festival event of him winning first place, and also after him. I last left off where Deku was about to get his hero name, and guys, I thought about it. Deku's hero name is going to be Lightning. Now, it might seem pretty, weird, but I think it does suit Deku's new abilities and powers and personality. So basically, everybody says that's a pretty good name, um, except Ochaku and Bakugo's broadcasts. But pretty much, yeah. Everybody else is going like, that's a pretty good name, Deku, yeah, cool. And they're just, cheering him on. So, everybody else's name is exactly the same. So, we could switch to the next day of schools, blah, blah, blah. But eventually, we get to switch the next day of school, or the next days. And Deku gets his internships from UA, from his pretty much schools, just thinking about which school should he go to. And Deku automatically just chooses, just puts three options in a bowl and just chucks it in the air, grabbing the bowl, shaking it, and putting his hand into the bowl, pulling out pretty much Endeavor's Academy. Now, Deku sees this is a really good, opportunity and takes it, doing Endeavor's pretty much internship. So Deku goes to Endeavor's internship and walks in there. Deku sees Endeavor and never walks over to Deku and says, hello, 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 Zugumadoria. Now guys, I did get some comments of a certain character in the Todoroki family that Deku should be shipped with. Female Todoroki. So guys, I will be shipping Deku with female Todoroki. So yeah, Deku will be shipped with female Todoroki, and Deku will also be shipped with two other people, but we'll get into that like a lot more later. So yeah, basically the three most harem persons I'm gonna be doing in my what ifs is what if Deku was Deadpool, what if Deku was Spider-Man, what if Deku, was cheated on slash dead. So Deku went pretty much in there and sat next, and they were talked about what they're gonna do with their fire exam. Now I don't know why Endeavor picked Deku, but sometimes Deku's energy can turn into blue flames, like I explained, like in the first um what if. So pretty much Endeavor takes Deku because he did see just a little bit of fire sparks through his body. Now, Never also did, admire Deku for just ending the fight with Todoroki without hurting him or her too much. So they walked in. They walked in there, and Todoroki was like really, angry at Endeavor, but not that angry at Deku. Pretty much, they were told, blah blah blah, and they're gonna be going on patrol. They're gonna be training. So they start training, and Deku trains on his fire powers or his fire abilities more often. Deku's using his energy whips and igniting them into flames, using them as kind of like Ghost Rider uses his chains, burning and lashing items away. Deku also Deku also pretty much works on his fire blast. Deku doesn't have pyrokinesis. Deku has fire blast. Pretty much he can ignite flames from his body, but he can control them in a certain way of pretty much shooting them from his hands, kind of like a flamethrower. So Deku can only shoot fire out of his arms, not his legs, body, or head, just his arms. Deku also has the ability to be fireproof as well for about a certain amount of time before it starts burning his body. Deku also has the ability to pretty much ignite his fist in the fire, still using his super strength to burn people while he punches them at super velocity of strength. Whatever, super strength. So pretty much Deku gets a pretty good, like a really pumped up their status. Deku also works on his strength and also works on his agility and speed. Now, since Deku basically already has the godlike powers, and he's probably the most OP person in my what ifs that I've already made so far, other than what if Deku was Tokiyami's brother, because I did give Tokiyami's brother Deku the powers or the gifts of a god, and I'm still gonna be giving him powers of a god in part 2 and 3. So yeah, basically, yeah, my most OP characters in my what ifs have been Deku, this one, or what if Deku was basically whatchamacallit. Oh yeah, was Tokiyami's brother, or what if Deku was, I think what if Deku was All Might's son, because I did that when Deku just had straight up just all the powers of One for All when he first got the quirk from his father. So yeah, but pretty much Deku starts his journey and fighting more and more and learning more tricks every day. Deku eventually comes across a day when they're starting to do the first exam. So they got a pretty good score, and pretty much training just goes normally. Nothing really happens, and then whenever it happens, Deku took Deku and Todoroki have a little bit, um, eye suddenly moments and look at each other with like some sort of sexual intent. But yeah, nothing really happens. So after the day they go on patrol, Endeavor takes Todoroki and Deku there. Now Endeavor already, thinks of putting Deku in some sort of quirk marriage with his daughter Todoroki, because it's a half and half of fire and ice quirk mixed with a super strength slash fire slash um super strength slash fire quirk that doesn't have any drawbacks slash super speed quirk slash energy manipulation quirk can equal a freaking god. Just a god. So pretty much I actually remind that. So like what do you guys think would come of all of Deku's powers combined with pretty much Todoroki's, fire and ice quirk? Like I just think that would be the most OP'd, overpowered quirk in humanity. Like that kid will grow up to be a freaking god if Deku and Todoroki just neglect the kid. Or that kid might come out to be Dobby or something. But Deku's too much of a good parent, because I think Deku would make a great parent if he grew up. So yeah, let's get back to the story, guys. Sorry. So pretty much Deku and Todoroki are running down the street when they get a phone call from one of their friends. Now, Deku automatically has Kirishima's phone number, because Deku and Kirishima are more of friends than Bakugo. Now, Kirishima still cares about Bakugo, but he ain't chill. He ain't straight up just chilling with Bakugo, but he does chill with Deku, because Deku's more friends with Denki and Kirishima now, and Zero. So pretty much Kirishima calls Deku, and Deku's confused. Now in this universe, Kirishima and his hero company did pretty much walk did go to a patrol into the city when the Nomus attacked. So the Nomus attacked and everything started up. So everybody just started, fighting left and right. Everybody started going up against the Nomus. Pretty much the streets went, wild. And Deku ran off when he got a text message from Kirishima, and Todoroki saw Deku run off. A couple minutes after Deku ran off, Todoroki followed him because his father was going up against the Nomu and his father was distracted. So she went after Deku. So Deku, got into the same area where Kirishima was barely holding off Stain, and Ida was on the floor. Deku ran over there to wall like he originally did in canon, punching Stain right into the face into a nearby wall. Deku lands on the ground and says, "What are you gonna do, Stain?" Stain gets up and pretty much looks up and he sees that pretty much Stain's hair starts glowing red. Deku stands back and says, "What the hell?" And pretty much Stain looks at his hands and they start glowing in pretty much red light. And Stain speeds towards Deku in imaginable speeds. Deku dodges easily, but is confused like AF. And you're probably wondering, what do you mean? Pretty much anybody that has died in this what if that has a second chance will get Deku's powers or similar to Deku's powers. So Stain died about 2 weeks before the Stain arc. So Deku, knowing being Deku, just straight up took out Stain by snapping his neck without a second of hesitation, because in canon, everybody knew that Stain didn't have any sort of strength or speed quirk, because like he couldn't have. So Deku pretty much just snapped Stain's neck. When Deku snapped Stain's neck, Deku pretty much his eyes grew bright white and he had a vision. He was back in that blue greenish area where he was when he died, looking around. Deku got pushed back down to the ground, and a man with a beard looked at Deku and said, "You started something that I haven't been able to end it." Deku, sits up and says, "What do you mean?" The man sits up as well and starts explaining that the people in the span of a year, you have to pretty much take down the head or the end, the most powerful user of this power. Now, guys, pretty much I will be giving a villain or villain arc the powers of Deku, but just, super stronger in Deku. So Deku will be a lot more, challenged. But also Deku will also have the, pretty much skills, abilities, and power sets of basically, what should I call it? Oh yeah, him. So over the weeks or over the arcs, certain villains or certain characters will have powers or abilities like Deku's, but more built on their personality. So guys, name some villains or characters that you guys want me to give powers to, like I gave Deku. Now, Deku doesn't really have a quirk. He has a power, kind of like X-Men's do or superheroes do. But yeah, so guys, I'm not gonna end it off here because I just think it's way too short. So let's get on to it. So Deku pretty much takes out Stain, and Stain gets knocked out. Deku, gets sprung back in reality and sees Todoroki, helping up Kirishima because Kirishima got hit upside the head with one clean cut by the blade before Stain, got punched the shit out of by Deku. So Deku, pretty much seeing that Todoroki's here, Deku grabs Stain, using all of his strength, chucking Stain like about 50 miles, like almost out of the city into the water, like super hard, like making the wind pressure like blow out all the trash from the alleyway. Deku looks behind him and sees Todoroki, still helping up Kirishima, and looks over at Todoroki, and Todoroki, blushes a little bit. Deku runs over to them and says, "Are you okay?" Blah blah blah, and all that other jazz. They help up, and Deku helps up, Ingenium or Ida, and they get stopped by, Endeavor. Endeavor stops them, pretty much helps them out, and they get to, the medical record. Now, pretty much, instead of, pretty much, sorry guys. Ida still gets his whole entire cut on his hand, but he's still good. He's good, and Kirishima doesn't really get that much bad of a mark. Kirishima does get another eye mark on his other eye that he got when he was a kid, but it wasn't so severe that the medical records couldn't clear it up completely. So he didn't really get any disfiguring scars. How like I think Deku had disfiguring scars, or how in man, I forgot their names. Ida, yeah, Ida. So yeah, guys. So basically, Deku, everybody goes back to UA a couple days later. Deku goes to UA more earlier because Deku didn't get any, marks or bruises on him because, well, he's super overpowered. So Deku goes over there to school the next day. Pretty much everybody's, chill and cold. So they get told that they're doing, exam or physical slash, um, you know, practical exam or something, I don't know. A big exam. And pretty much everybody's figuring out, like, how they're gonna study, blah, blah, blah. Now, Deku basically just stops right there, and pretty much over the days, Deku found out that he had another ability. Deku found out that he had some sort of ability called, pretty much, well, mind space. Deku could make make a mind space from his body, like how he had that vision when he talked to the man without wasting any time. So Deku could make a mind space so he could study all alone without any hesitation and without any time period, so he can study whenever how long he wanted. So Deku went home without having to study part buddy and pretty much just trained. So Deku trained in his mind space, and Deku can also train physically in his mind space and still get that physical, pretty much drained back on his physical body. So Deku uses his mind space to train his physical body and also train his mind as well. Deku can also go inside of his mind while he's in his mind space, making Deku able to, use his mind like the head key from Lock and Key. If you haven't seen that TV show, go and see it. It's on Netflix. It's pretty good. So pretty much Deku's really, really skilled in this, new mind space power. And now, Deku's mind space power is kind of OP because he can go into there anytime he wants, and also time stops completely while he's in his mind space. So Deku only spent about a second in his room, and then he learned everything he needed to know for the exam. So Deku went to the exam, and everything was good. Deku got the highest score in class, higher than Momo's and pretty much everybody else's. So Deku was extremely smarter. Deku also was super pumped up for the physical exam. Pretty much they were told, about the whole entire All Might race and everything. So Deku pretty much aces the All Might race with no hesitation, grabbing All Might with just pretty much running towards All Might with like so much speed. Now, after that, they get told by, their student that the teacher said they're doing a 1v1. Pretty much, they're confused, going like, what do you mean a 1v1? They're saying that you're gonna be fighting us. Everybody's confused. Deku's, not that confused, but not even that scared because he already knows that he's strong enough to beat every one of their asses. But pretty much he might get, a trouble from All Might. But pretty much they get started, and sorry guys, Deku gets started, and everything is. So basically, guys, they get started, and pretty much everybody else's scores or pretty much fightings go the same. Um, Pretty much, Chaku and Chaku and the naval laser guy, they still win, but Chaku just falls into 13, and naval laser just shoots 13 in the chest, knocking him out. So Chaku didn't really do anything. So in that universe, Chaku did Jack, and she basically was just overweight. So, Deku and Bakugo. Let's skip to the main course, Deku and Bakugo versus All Might. Now, pretty much Deku doesn't really talk to Bakugo, and Bakugo doesn't talk to Deku at all. They don't even say anything towards each other. Now, Bakugo doesn't, isn't a punk like it was in other what if Deku was cheated on. Deku just doesn't talk to Bakugo. Now, All Might shows up, and Deku pretty much just goes into a fighting position, and Bakugo goes into a fighting position, saying that you're gonna win, you old man. I mean, you're gonna lose, old man. Deku says, whatever. And pretty much All Might stands down doing his whole entire speech, and Deku doesn't stand for that shit. Just runs over to All Might, grabbing his, two hair things, trying to pull him off and push All Might down into the ground. All Might just grabs Deku by the waist, and pretty much Detroit smashes him right into the waist, throwing him into a nearby car, and almost knocking out Deku. Deku looks up and sees All Might going for a huge Detroit smash towards Bakugo. Bakugo dodges it, throwing an explosion towards All Might. All Might dodges it, throwing a piece of rubble at Bakugo's head, knocking Bakugo out. Deku seeing that this might be a good opportunity, just, ditch him. But it says that's not going to be, very hero-like, but still, he can do something that might has him up. Pretty much, Deku does his whole entire super speed thing, passing by All Might, grabbing Bakugo by his leg, dragging him out of there with no hesitation, winning. Everybody's confused, saying that he barely fought him, but he still won though. So Deku just ran out of there with Bakugo, like with his whole entire head scratched up because he did drag him at super speed by his leg. So Bakugo had a lot of blood loss at the back of his leg, but he just put some bandages, recovery girl healed him up a little bit. About like 3 weeks before Bakugo's head was fully recovered, but then after that it was full weeks. His flesh would be healed, but not his hair, so you have to grow back his hair. But yeah, Deku pretty much was pretty, um, didn't really fight, just, ran off. So Deku, being, OP and all, just didn't want to, waste his time beating the shit out of All Might, just grabbing Bakugo and running out there. So, pretty much after that, everybody was, told their scores and how, everybody else, failed, and everybody that won. So, pretty much, Deku technically did win it with, pretty much Bakugo, because Bakugo did come out of the ring at the same time as Deku. So Deku pretty much, halfway, pretty much didn't want Bakugo to win and just thought, he had to get Bakugo not to seem like a jackass. But pretty much Deku, Deku just gave Bakugo the death stare, saying that you're gonna lose next time you do 1v1. Pretty much saying that he's gonna beat your ass. Pretty much Deku just, has that, he has that black person mentality. Deku just doesn't really give a shit. But Deku has more of that black person mentality when you check out my What If Deku Was Black? What If Deku Was Black? You check it out. Please do check that out. So pretty much Deku, straight up just walks off. After that, everybody has, okay day, they go back home. And pretty much, I want to end off here, guys. See you guys later. And guys, go in the comments if you think I should, pretty much ship Mirko with Deku for his second ship, or Momo. But yeah, I might lean towards more of Mirko, but I was originally going to ship Mirko of Deku / Deadpool. So yeah, see you guys later. Bye. Deuces.